New Leadership stands for National Education for Women's Leadership. It is a program that was started by the Center for American Women in Politics at Rutgers University. And Rutgers University has run a new leadership program for over 20 years, focusing on women, college women in New Jersey. They are now in the process of moving and duplicating the program through all 50 states. And the West Forum and Winthrop University, in collaboration with the College of Charleston, was honored to bring this program to South Carolina. The ultimate goal for the program is to have a cadre of women who are currently in college who are interested in public service careers in the future. We define public service very broadly. It certainly includes running for elective office, but we also see it as employment in government agencies, not-for-profit work, volunteerism, and more.
My experience surprised me. I did not think that I would gain a special interest in politics and in government from this, but I have. I've been educated on leadership itself. I have learned more about women's history than I've ever known. The thing that I have taken away most from this is how interested our female legislators are in us. Growing up without a major connection to politics, I paid attention during the elections, but I was never from a family that was very actively engaged in politics. I viewed politicians as, we're average Americans here and they are over there. I didn't have a connection to them as just everyday people. I was very surprised by the fact that many of the female legislators that we have here in the state are just like me and just like the woman that was sitting next to me.
I am so empowered today by what I've heard over these last 3 days. I got from several of the ladies that confidence builder that let me know that it's okay to walk into a room and to be confident about who you are and knowing who you are. That it wouldn't be considered as arrogance, but just confidence. Because I should know better than anybody else who I am and what qualities I possess.
In designing New Leadership South Carolina, we started with the basic model from Rutgers University, the Center for American Women in Politics. And there were certain components that had to be involved. So, for example, we had to include something about the importance of diversity to leadership. We had to include something about how to get involved in local politics. And there were 3 or 4 components that we needed to include. And then we started thinking about, well, what do the students we know that we think have the greatest potential, what do they need? Well, they need to practice certain skills. So they need to be presented with information, they need to be able to practice those skills, and then first and foremost, we need to demystify politics. And so we tried to round up as many women who are playing public leadership roles as possible, whether they are educators on the school board, or whether they're church musicians who also do something else, or whether they're elected state leaders. And we tried to just present them as regular people. We tried to give them an opportunity to tell their story so that the young woman can see, well, she didn't plan to be a state legislator. What she really planned to do was run a preschool. But what she realized was government regulation was so pervasive that she wanted to get involved so that she was writing those regulations because she knew what it was like to be regulated. That's the kind of experience we wanted to offer them.
I think it was helpful to see women that have made it, even women that came from Winthrop, that came from what I have, gone through the same political science program and now are running offices at the city or have their whole own nonprofits. It was really encouraging to see. A lot of the girls that were there, and even myself, they were asking questions like, I didn't even realize that it was like that. I didn't know it was like that, They didn't know about Lilly Ledbetter or even the President's Fair Pay Act. And so I just think educating them about the women's movement and about stats. A lot of people didn't know that South Carolina was 49th, and they didn't know that women aren't well represented. And they didn't know that women are supposed to have this equality. I mean, maybe they knew, but it wasn't something they thought about. They're scared of the word feminism, but they didn't even realize, wait, I probably should be a feminist. So I think just getting people out there and realizing they have the potential to be leaders and they have the opportunity to be, and they should take up that opportunity. I think that's really important.
New Leadership South Carolina this year was sponsored in part by Winthrop University, the College of Charleston, and significantly underwritten by the John C. West Forum on Politics and Policy. We are grateful to all of them for their generous support. However, we are always looking for other partners who might wish to be a part of this very exciting initiative. And if there is any organization or a foundation that is interested in assisting us in any way, I would certainly encourage them to reach out to us. And we can be reached at westforum@winthrop.edu.